Hi, hello, my name is Francesca Ellis and I'm a professional actress who has been working in the industry for close on 3 decades, and I've been invited to talk to you a little bit about my experience. So let's start off with how it all began for me. I had singing lessons and dance lessons as a child and some acting lessons, and I think it was when I got to the age of 16 I really knew that it was what I wanted to pursue, and I knew that because I couldn't imagine not doing it, which was a really important deciding factor for me, I think. And my advice to anybody who is wanting to pursue this, you have to go with that gut feeling of whether you can bear not to perform and not to be on stage or entertain in some way. If you absolutely cannot imagine that, then it's the right place for you to be, no matter how hard, and you will ride the wave of all the difficulties and all of the bumps along the way. I pursued a 2-year performing arts course in Salford, which was fantastic, where we performed plays at the local theatres. We went to the Edinburgh Festival. It was a really, really brilliant course, and it helped me gain a lot of confidence and momentum into the industry. However, at the age of 18, I didn't feel ready to go into the big wide world and properly get out there and audition for work. So for me, I decided I wanted to further my skills, and as I could sing and dance, I decided to audition for one of the London further education schools, and I very, very luckily got in. However, I couldn't afford to go. And the reason I auditioned for the school, which was the Arts Educational Schools in West London, the reason I auditioned for that particular school was because I knew they had a scholarship. And it was actually the Andrew Lloyd Webber Scholarship, and you could re-audition for the school in order to win the scholarship. And very, very fortunately, I won the scholarship. So I wouldn't be here now in the industry, probably working still and auditioning still, if it hadn't have been for that scholarship. So I'm incredibly grateful. After moving to London and pursuing the 3-year musical theatre course, which was hard, by the way, we danced every day. We had numerous dance lessons. We had about 4 dance lessons a day. We had singing lessons. We had some acting lessons, some voice lessons, but the dance was hard. I remember that. And after my 3 years of hard graft, I had been applying to agents just prior to me leaving, and I managed to get representation very, very luckily again. And also some of it was completely hard work and really, putting it out there. I managed to get an agent before I left the college, and I managed to get a job. And the rest is history. I have been working, like I say, for nearly 3 decades. I have done straight plays, I have done musicals, I have done the odd television gig, I've done adverts, you name it, I've had a go. And it's been a really interesting journey. To name a few of the shows that I've particularly loved doing, Les Miserables, more recently Phantom of the Opera, Mamma Mia. About 3 times I've done Mamma Mia internationally, which was great because I got to travel with work. And what else? Hair the musical. I did a play in the West End which was brilliant, called The Duck House. I did a play at Waterloo Station called The Railway Children, actually on the tracks, which was really fab. You name it, I've had a go. So it's been a varied career. In terms of advice to anybody starting out in the industry, I would say stick with it. Sometimes it feels like things aren't working out at the beginning, and it feels like there's a lot of rejection and not a lot of joy especially when you're out there auditioning. Even if you're not going for drama schools and you're just auditioning for things, it can feel really bleak. But do stick with it, because it's renowned for being difficult. And it's very, very easy to take a lot of the rejection personally. And my advice would be try to get out of your own head with that and not take the rejection at face value. Because it is an overcrowded profession, there are lots and lots and lots of people who are going for the same jobs, and that can sometimes mean that the jobs you go for, because there's such a wide choice, the people casting, the panel casting, can have anybody they want. They can have the right eye colour, they can have the right size, shape, height, everything. So ridiculous, and it's so impersonal that it would be crazy for you to think that it's something to do with your ability and your talent. So try not to be defeated by rejections to certainly start off with. Get yourself propelled into the industry by just being a little bit thicker skinned, which will develop in time, a thicker skin, which I would say that, you know, I've certainly built one. It still hurts when you don't get a job, but you get over it. You get over it really quickly. Sometimes you have to get used to sacrificing things within the industry when you work professionally, i.e. I've booked holidays in the past and then an audition's cropped up just on the date when I'm supposed to be flying out somewhere or going somewhere, and you have to make that choice whether you want to go on your holiday or whether you want that job. And it's a very, very tough call, but I would say to you, you have to go with your gut instinct. And for me, I've generally cancelled my holidays to actually do the audition, because sometimes the opportunity is so good and it only comes around once in a blue moon. And they don't tend to reschedule things like that. So it's not like they can say, oh, we'll see you in a week after your holiday. Sometimes you can miss the chance. So yeah, just be prepared for some sacrifice. Be prepared sometimes to have to do work outside of your field. What I mean by that is, because actors, performers are contracted 99% of the time, or should I say 100% of the time really. I've certainly only ever been contracted in the work that I've done. Unfortunately, it means that your work, when your contract is finished, you are out of work. So you have to sometimes just fill those gaps in between jobs. It's like polyphony, you've got to kind of just fill it in so you've got that money coming in so you can pay your rent and you can afford to live. So be prepared to do lots of different jobs. A lot of us get very good at retail or making coffee or waitressing or all manner of work. So just be prepared for that. Working hard. What else can I tell you? Longevity within the industry. My longevity has been from pure passion and love for what I do. Sometimes I found myself in a position where I want life to be easier, and I maybe want a little bit of normality and stability in my life. But for some reason, I've always been propelled back into the industry, whatever I have done outside of it. And that must come rooted in passion. It must be. That's the only way that I can describe it. And you know if you have that passion and if it really is something that you cannot imagine yourself not doing. And that is the barometer for me. I can't imagine myself not doing it. So, you know, longevity within the industry is also about pacing yourself. And it's also about that thicker skin. It's about getting to a point in your life where you understand the nature of the industry. And as I'm still working as a performer now, despite the pandemic, I am a living proof of somebody who's still active within the industry and still auditioning and still performing. So I definitely have a current ear to the ground as to how things are right now. And I would say to you, you know, it is hard, but it's also brilliant, and it's a very uplifting choice of career, because the highs that you get are like no other. And believe me, I've stepped away from the business at times to do various other jobs, Even times where I've been out of work for longer periods of time and I've thought, do I really need to go back into the whole auditioning thing and fighting like a bum fight to get a job? And I've always come to the conclusion that yes, it's worth it. So it has a lot of rewards, but in a different way to, I guess, a job with a great deal of security. I'm trying to think what else I can tell you. Advice on getting agents. I would always try to start early with getting an agent, even if you're at drama school. Invite agents to come and see you do stuff. If you're doing final year shows, if you're doing a play or a musical or some presentation that is open to the public, then you should try and invite agents. Get yourself, now when I was studying, there used to be a book called Contacts, which was by Spotlight. And I don't know whether you can actually buy contacts anymore, whether it exists, because with the internet now, we don't need it. We didn't have that back in my day. So if you go online and you just tap in theatrical agents, you can see a long list of these guys. And you can also see the actors that they have on their books sometimes. And if you can't see the actors that they have in their books, just write to them anyway. Set up a CV, have some headshots done. Again, lots of stuff online to help you with that. And just try it. Just get out there and try it. There's, you know, what's the worst thing that can happen? People will say no to you. And I think that's okay, you know, because you've got to get used to that. But I would write to agents and get them to come and see your work. Apart from telling you lots and lots about my advice, I would just wish you all the very, very best of luck. And whether it be West End, whether it be Fringe Theatre, whether it be doing an advert, whether it be just basically singing a song in your living room, just do it with passion, work hard, keep the belief, and keep dreaming, actually. That's another thing. Just keep dreaming. It sounds very, very corny, but you've got to dream in order to kind of see the vision of where you want to be. And I fully embrace that idea. So best of luck, and I hope some of this advice was helpful to you. Take care.